So there's one thing you need to do before season starts for one item in your dog's med kit, and that is, that's right, you need to stop at KFC at least once before you go out hunting, and I'll tell you why. Okay, so why do you have to go to Kentucky Fried Chicken at least once? I'll tell you a couple items that you can get from there to help you on your hunting trips. One for the dog, a couple for me, but the main thing is the honey packets. If your dog's out in the field and just exhausted and crashes, you can give him one of these honey packets, juice him back up a little bit, get back to the truck or whatever. Then next, I like to keep a tube of protein, just some squeezable protein in there too. My buddy Bill had to use this for his dog at one time. It's nice to have. It does the same thing as your honey or whatever, just something to give them to get them a boost back. Then I'll just throw in his probiotics, keep those in there while we're traveling. And then I've got my dog treats that I made. They're vacuum sealed, and that recipe is following this little piece. And then I always keep that other bag of treats in the truck at all times. So then the other thing is just have some emergency. Good vitamin C for them. You don't want to give them the whole pack, but if I was in a situation they needed some energy, I could mix half of that pack with their water or something like that. Then you have the other items from Kentucky Fried Chicken that come in handy. They usually throw in a couple of sporks for you, so I'll throw those in the truck for when you're out hunting and you just stop for some lunch and maybe you needed something. And then the other pieces, obviously, always have some extra napkins, which we call brush bucks, and because you can sell them for a lot of money out there. So here, just have some stuff for ticks and fleas. You can use whatever. I keep a couple different things. Can of Advantage that I can spray on him, or use some Frontline and put that on him before season. And then I mixed a spray bottle of permethrin and water mixture, and I'll keep that in the truck with me a lot of times if I'm in those tick-infested areas. For situations, if you have to induce vomiting, I'm going to use some hydrogen peroxide, and that should take care of it. Nothing too serious. Then you just want to keep a handful of different gauze wraps and adhesive wraps. Just keep in there with some tape, some eye wash to keep their eyes washed out of with all that, and then some triple ointment. And then the Benadryl, you don't want to use this, but you want to have some Benadryl pills in case they get stung by a bee or something like that and have a reaction. And then there in the center, obviously, you want to have a stapler. They sell these for like $10 at Amazon. But it's a nice little medical stapler in case you run into a fence and have to staple him up to get him to the vet real quick. That's a reminder to always have the number of a vet where you're hunting. So then some other miscellaneous items to keep around. Extra dog tags in case he loses them. And so a couple of combs to get out some burrs, some tweezers for the ticks, some scissors to cut your tape and gauze. And then these are some meds that I had where he had some intestinal issues, so I just keep those in there. And then obviously some toe clippers, pair of surgical gloves, couple pair. Now that dog leash, extra dog leash, is just for if you have to muzzle him. It could be used as a slip leash. And then just all my other miscellaneous bandages and stuff like that I'll walk through. You can see just a handful of Band-Aids on top there. Those are basically for me if anything happens. Something small, but the rest of that stuff in there could be used for yourself as well as the dog. So a few of the items in that bag is a blood stop. It's a patch that goes on there to help stop the bleeding. This is a company that I used to rep. And then just some bigger gauze pads. And just a variety of different patches or bandages that you can throw in there. There's no limit. Now the alcohol pads are multi-purpose. I've read that you can use them to wipe off the dog's pads when they're overheated. That should help cool them down, and then you could use them for, on their cuts or in their ears if you're trying to clean the area. And these are just a couple items for me. Keep some hand cleaner and stuff like that in there if you do get messy. And then just some ibuprofen for those long walks when I'm sore. Everybody needs a few of those once in a while. And just throw it all into a nice little container. Nothing too big, because it's just something to throw in your truck, behind your seat, whatever the case is. And keep everything all together. Works out good. Okay, everybody, this is our dry ingredients for our dog treat recipe. So we got 3/4 of a cup of chickpea flour. You could use all chickpea flour and cancel the whole wheat flour, and it's usually about 3/4 of a cup to 1 cup of the whole wheat. I didn't have enough chickpea, so I just used some whole wheat in this batch. So you could do it either way. So your chickpea flour is just a good source of protein and fiber. And next you have a 1/4 cup of ground flaxseed. That's another source of protein and fiber and helps promote their cardio health. And have a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. That's for the antioxidants and to support brain function. And then 1/2 teaspoon of salt. 2 eggs that you add in after you get all that mixed in is for the protein, the fatty acids, and their vitamins. Then you have a 1/2 cup of canned pure pumpkin, and that's a good source of vitamin A, C, and E, and then other minerals like iron and potassium. And then you have 2 tablespoons of peanut butter for a source of protein and healthy fats. Now if you mix all this together and it's just not coming together for you, you can either just add a little bit more of that pumpkin to get that consistency that you're looking for, or just use some water, either one. But I would probably just use some more pumpkin. So if you end up in a spot where you're running out of food, you're out of jerky and everything, this could always be a last resort. You might have to fight the dog for them. Hey, it wouldn't be my first choice, but I wouldn't turn it down if it was the last thing I had to eat. So then you just mix it all together. Use your hands, spatula, whatever you have to use, till you kind of get that consistency, and you can just make a little ball to put on a cookie sheet, and it holds together. Then boom, just lay them out on a cookie sheet. Then I take a fork and push them down to thin them out, just like your ma did when she made peanut butter cookies when you were a kid. I ended up baking these at 350 from 20 to 25 minutes. I want to make sure they're relatively hard and crunchy and not mushy on the inside. These are just a nice substitute for your other dog treats when you're out hunting. I like to give him something when we're done hunting. I don't want him to fully eat a full bowl of food, so I might give him one of these just to tide him over until I feed him a little bit later. But dog tested, dog approved. Must be good. He's still licking his chops. Okay, that's going to wrap up this video. Hope you enjoyed it. A couple items in there. Hopefully you can get your med kit set up and make some of these dog treats. If you like these videos, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of my videos. And we'll see you in the next one. God bless and take care.